Maybe I can keep the door closed with this chair.
Oh, no, 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 no! Leave that chair right there! I need this door to stay open.
It's the chimney to the dress shop. I can see smoke pouring out of the top of 2 smokestacks up there.
Those chimneys look pretty small. Santa Claus is gonna need to go on a diet before he'll be able to squeeze down those.
Let's take a look up there, Frederick. Maybe there's a way in.
I'm game.
Look, Frederick, the smoke has stopped, so the fire is out. Now that the fire is out, let's see where this goes, Frederick.
Sure. I always wanted to visit the exotic and secretive world of the chimney sweep.
It looks like graffiti.
What does that say?
Santa was here. I wonder what that means.
Oh, didn't you hear? The Vlad's Landing Chimney Sweep Guild wanted to start charging Santa a toll for all the scuff marks he left in the chimneys. It was this big thing where they went back and forth at City Hall and in editorials in Weasel News. Never happened, but after that, Santa was here, tags started showing up in all the chimneys, sort of in your face to the chimney sweeps.
Wow, vindictive little elf, isn't he? No, I don't think so. It looks like the skeleton of a bat.
Uncle Rudy!
You know him?
Yeah. The last time I saw him, we were out flying together, and he was complaining about being cold. He said he had a great idea on how to get warm, but he didn't elaborate.
So, your uncle flew into a chimney and waited until somebody started the fire?
Hey, nobody ever accused Uncle Rudy of being the sharpest tool in the shed.
Frederick, you think we should give him a burial?
Bats don't get buried.
They don't? What do they do?
They get cremated, then sprinkled into some guacamole dip, and then all the relatives grab some chips and dig in. That way the deceased lives on in each of us.
Till about 12 hours later.
That goes without saying.
It's a flue for the kitchen fireplace. It's closed tight. No way! Too heavy. Let's see what this does.
No! Not the limited edition plates! Oh! Oh! Bats drive me crazy!
With Mina busy cleaning up there, now would be a good time to make sure she stays in there.
Hello? Out there? Something has fallen in front of the door.
Ah, what are you?
I am your worst nightmare come true. A woman with power. Not political or social power, but black magic, which is power nonetheless.
No, please don't. I'll do anything you ask. Just don't start voting.
Then do this. Be a good husband to your wife and treat her fairly. If I find out that you have said so much as a single insult, I'm going to come back here and finish you off.
And go get a job, for goodness sake. Help your wife and kids out.
But my mental anguish. What kind of a job could I do?
Get a job in a field you know well and love, and I'm sure your mental anguish will be gone in no time. But I'd worry about the current anguish you're about to go through.
Clam bake.
Oh, my! Excuse me. It must have been all that beer he drank. I feel a little... tipsy.
Next time, see if you can say the whole alphabet.
I think Minna has suffered enough.
I agree. Let her out so she can bask in the glory of our handiwork. All her distractions are asleep. Or passed out due to lack of blood.
One, 2, 3.
Whoa! Thank you. Something fell in front of... Oh my God!
What? What?
Bruno! Bruno!
Uh-oh.
What?
He's asleep! Thank God! Thank you, oh merciful Lord above. You have blessed me far more than you will ever know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you!
Mina? I hate to interrupt your prayer of thanks, but I was wondering if you have time to go down to your cellar and find those bolts of...
Lots of black cloth! Of course, my good friend. Anything for you. Anything! Yippee! Anything for you! Let him run down and get it. Happy days are here again! The skies are blue!
What's with that face?
I don't know. I have this feeling of warmth and accomplishment inside, and it seems to be making me smile, and I feel good. What is that?
Because you inadvertently did a good deed. It happens once in a while, but don't you worry. It'll pass. All you have to do is do something selfish and pop, it goes away. Trust me on this.
Really? Okay, because this is too weird.
It took me a while. I had to pull down the enormous fort the kids made with my cloth bolts, but I found it. 20 yards of my finest velvety black, and it's all yours, for free, for all your help you've given me.
Wow! Thank you so much. This will be perfect. Well, good luck. We're off. Toodaloo.
Ah!
There, that worked. It's a water basin. It collects water that drains from the roof. It's currently empty. No, I don't think so. It's a wagon, probably used to move coffins throughout the graveyard.
Once we find your grave and get some dirt, we should take the wagon with us.
As soon as we get a horse hooked up, we'll have ourselves some transportation. In the meantime, I should be able to drag it the short distance to my grave. It's a rusty old pickaxe. The owner of the cemetery must use it to dig graves. I think he needs a new one.
I bet you could use it for other things as well.
Like what?
Oh, all kinds of things. Climbing mountains, mining or tunneling, prying things apart, or even scaring teenagers on Valentine's Day.
I don't need it right now, but I might later. I remember where it is in case I need to use it. I may have been stupid enough to let Shroudy transform me into a vampire, but I am smart enough to know that I shouldn't be sticking my hand into a fire. It's a fire for the furnace. The fire has enough fuel to burn for hours. I might need that, but I can't carry it around with me. I'll keep it in mind. I don't have much need for lunchboxes anymore. It's a drawer full of magazines, including Better Tombs and Crypts and Rat Fancy. Though I am tempted to look at Better Tombs and Crypts magazine, I really have to get out of here before the sun comes up. But maybe later. It looks like a crossword puzzle.
What's a 9-letter word for a really bored bat?
Fodrick?
That's right! Now let's move on.
It's the caretaker's filing cabinet.
Oh, we should look through his employee files to see if anybody has a history of mental illness.
There's nothing in there that's going to help us. It looks like a map of the graveyard.
That should tell us exactly where your grave is, Mona. Let's go check it out.
Let's see if I can find my grave. It's probably in the area reserved for famous entertainers and singers.
Yeah, right.
There sure are a lot of dead people buried around here. Do you see my grave anywhere, Fodrick?
Yep, got it. It looks like your grave is in quadrant A113. You were originally buried between the graves of Jay Hoffa and my hopes and dreams for the future.
Now that we know where it is, we can go get some of my grave dirt.
Hello again, my beautiful dark swan.
Shroudy, no!
Well, look what the cat coughed up.
Joke all you want, you insipid little rodent. You're going to need more than a sense of humor to escape my trap. I've just locked the door and taken the key. I'm afraid you are trapped.
I'm never going back to that castle, and I'll never love you. Try and get that through your thick head.
Wouldn't you agree it's more like a gaseous head?
Whatever. I would rather die
die than spend one more night with you living in that castle.
You say you would rather die, hmm? Well, we shall see. I shall give you a couple hours to ponder your fate. I'm sure when I return, you will be much more agreeable with my most generous offer and return with me to the castle. But for now, as punishment for your attitude, I shall leave you here. When I return, I expect to find that you have adopted a more appropriate attitude.
No way! Too heavy! This might come in handy, but I'm not carrying it around. I'll keep it in mind. I'll wedge this under the door. It should give us a few inches of open space. Good! I can't use the bellows with that. That won't accomplish anything, I'm afraid. Sorry. I can't use the bellows with that. I wish I could, but Shroudy locked it and took the key with him. I can walk over there just fine. Shucks, that won't work for some reason. It's a fire for the furnace. The fire has enough fuel to burn for hours. There's nothing in there that's going to help us. Though I am tempted to look at Better Tombs and Crypts magazine, I really have to get out of here before the sun comes up. But maybe later. It's a locked door to the outside. I bet I could get the tip of this shovel red hot in this fire. I don't need to do it now, but I'll remember this idea for later. No reason to do that. The rusty old shovel won't work with that. Shucks, that won't work for some reason. No reason to do that. The rusty old shovel won't work with 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 that. That won't accomplish anything, I'm afraid. Sorry. These two items won't combine together. 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 I can't reach out. These iron bars are too close together. I can't. The bars are too close together. Shucks. That won't work for some reason. No reason to do that. It's a water basin. It collects water that drains from the roof. It's currently empty. It's an iron stovepipe bolted to the wall and stove. That thing is way too hot to touch. The rusty old shovel won't work with that. Shucks, that won't work for some reason. Being a gravedigger must be boring. I don't want to take away his only form of entertainment. I don't want a poster of their local team.
It's the caretaker's lunchbox. Looks like he's a vegetarian.
Help! Help! Anyone out there with an extra graveyard office key? Anyone? Anyone? Man. It's a water basin. It collects water that drains from the roof. It's currently empty. Frederick! Squeeze out of here and get the key!
Unfortunately, the crop of grubs, mites, lice, and insects was really good this year, so I put on a few extra ounces. There's no way I'm gonna fit through there now. Sorry, babe.
Shucks! That won't work for some.